All right, welcome back, everyone, to another episode of Tax Talk Live. Yes, we are live. It is Saturday. It is 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, and so really excited to be with you all, just to give you all this information. So we're going to go ahead and get started. We're going to go ahead and jump right into it, just to make sure that you all can soak up this information and also have time to ask questions. So we're going to be doing something a little bit different. I think most of you all who are definitely in the United States, at least, you've been paying attention, just like the rest of us who's outside as well, to the presidential debate. And quite naturally, we all know that that's been very interesting. And so let's look at what we've been talking about on this episode of basically how can we navigate? How do we navigate taxes more effectively? Navigating the income tax system more effectively, which is for your benefit to make it more advantageous for you. And so in doing so, there's been a lot of tax talk from both of these candidates, from both presidential candidates, about their taxation. And so I wanted to just share with you all just a little bit, quite naturally, of what's been going on. If you haven't had a chance to take a look at it, then I want to just make sure I share with you all just a little bit in terms of this presidential debate that's been taking place, and just to be able to see what's been going on.
The issue that voters consistently say is their top concern, the economy. What do you say to voters who feel they are worse off under your presidency than they were under President Trump?
And so before they get into it, again, this is a lot of our concerns, my concerns, your concerns, which is the economy. And so quite naturally, they're going to talk about the economy. They're going to talk about a number of topics. But I just wanted to let you all get a little snippet of what they're going to be talking about in terms of the economy. And then we're going to go ahead and get into our episode of talking about taxes and what are some of the key changes that are being proposed.
I'll take a look at what I was left when I became president, what Mr. Trump left me. We had an economy that was in free fall. The economy collapsed. There were no jobs. Unemployment rate rose to 15%. It was terrible.
The only jobs he created are for illegal immigrants and bounce back jobs, a bounce back from the COVID. He has not done a good job. He's done a poor job, and inflation's killing our country. It is absolutely killing us.
As president, would you block abortion medication?
So, again, I just wanted to play that just really quickly for you all. Just to give you all an opportunity just to hear that small piece about the economy. So let's go ahead and get into basically what we're going to be talking about today. And I want you all to really pay attention to this because it's very important. And so I want to go ahead and put it up on the screen. We're going to be talking about what's going to be proposed under the new presidential proposal for Democrats under President Biden. What is he actually proposing, and how some of this can actually have an impact on you all. So I want to go ahead and put this up on the screen. So take a look at this, what's up on the screen. And this is coming directly from the White House's website, right? So it's talking about the president's budget cuts taxes for working families and makes the big corporations and the wealthy pay their fair share. So we're talking about something very important at the heart of the matter, which is what we're interested in, is taxes, right? So I want you all to take a look. We're not going to go through the whole thing. If you want to get this, you can go to whitehouse.gov and you can find this fact sheet on there. Has all the information. But I want to jump down, and I want you all to pay attention to something that's very, very important. And it's right here. And it talks about eliminating subsidies for real estate. All right. And so I know many of you all out there are real estate people. Many of you all out there, just like me, invest in real estate. And so I want you all to understand what this proposal means. So what it says is the budget closes the like-kind exchange loophole, a special tax subsidy for real estate. And so when we're talking about like-kind, we're talking about something like a 1031 exchange. Whereas if I go out there and buy a piece of property, and then I find, another property and I want to exchange, or I want to make a sale, then I'm able to go ahead and transfer those profits or proceeds into a like kind asset or like kind property without paying taxes. And so this proposal is very important because it's proposing to close that loophole. And as you can see here on the screen, it says this loophole lets real estate investors but not investors in any other asset. So this is exclusive to real estate. It's not for stocks, it's not for crypto, it's not for any other assets. So it allows you to put off paying taxes on profits from deals indefinitely, as long as they keep investing in real estate. So this is a way for real estate investors to actually grow and scale. You're able to scale your portfolio by doing 1031 exchanges and delaying or deferring paying taxes. And so the government says this amounts to an indefinite interest-free loan from the government. Real estate is the only asset that gets this sweetheart deal. So they're proposing to close this. So I want to point this out. While I didn't think either Biden or Trump, either one of them did particularly very well, I don't think any one of them did very well in the debate. I want to get to the heart of the matter. I don't want you all to get distracted from the antics of the debate and things like that. I want you all to focus on what these candidates are actually proposing and how these things affect your everyday life, how they affect your everyday business, and how they affect your investment decisions to generate wealth and generational wealth for your family, long-term wealth. So this is very important. The 1031 exchange is in jeopardy under this proposal by the Biden administration. All right. So I wanted to go ahead and put that out there for you all. Let's go ahead and move down because I want you all to take a look at something else. And this is also one of the cornerstones of the Biden administration, whereas they're looking to increase taxes and they're saying on the wealthiest Americans, right? And so when you think about wealth, you're thinking about very large numbers, but I want you all to understand the details of this. The details, we're talking about anyone that's making $400,000 a year as a single person. And we're talking about anyone that's making $450,000 a year as a married couple. So that's where the Biden administration is proposing to increase taxes from 37% all the way back up to 39.6%. Now, I do need to point out that taxes were 39.6% previously. And under the previous Trump administration, then these were reduced down to 37%, giving basically a 2.6% break to those individuals in that higher income category. So I want you all to understand, if you're making 400,000 as a single person or 450 as a couple, then under the new Biden administration, you're looking at a 2.6% increase in your taxes. So just keep that in mind, and also how that could affect you. I want to break this down really quick. If you're making $1 million in income and you're single, basically what this 2.6% boils down to is an extra $26,000 at a minimum that you'll be subject to paying at a minimum based on $1 million in income. So, I mean, keep these things in mind as you know, they're wrapping up. This is presidential season, but I do want you all to understand, and don't be distracted. I want you to see through all the noise, and I want you to see how things are going to affect you, because that's how you need to make your decisions. All right. Well informed, not making your decisions based on a candidate, but I'm saying making your decisions based on being well informed. All right. So looking a little bit further, because I want to go through this really quick and I want to make sure you all get this. This is very, very important. Taxes is always a cornerstone. It comes up in every presidential race since the beginning of time. And I think we know, that it's safe to say there's two things that's certain in life when we talk about taxes. We know taxes are certain in life. You're going to pay those as long as you're living, as long as you're breathing. And that's individual income tax. And you're also going to pay taxes on your property and your assets. So those two things are certain when it comes to taxes. All right. So let's go ahead and look at the last point. There's a lot of information in here, y'all. I want to tell you, I'm not covering everything. There's some things in here that you may be concerned about that may be specific to you. I'm just covering a couple of high points, 2 to 3 high points during this session. But I want you all to go to whitehouse.gov and be able to take a look so that you can get this information. All right. All right. So just scrolling down, I want to make sure that we get to also something that's very, very important, where it talks about cutting taxes for working families and the middle class. All right. So very important when the Biden administration talks about cutting taxes. All right. Cutting taxes for working families and the middle class. So the President Biden administration tax cuts they're proposing that will save an average of about $800 per year in health insurance premiums, and also in addition to honoring this tax cut, his pledge is not to raise taxes on anyone. Get this, not to raise taxes on anyone earning less than $400,000. So I just told you all, whereas the Biden administration was looking at anybody that's at 400,000 and above as a single filer, or 450 and above as a married person, they're looking to raise taxes. So they're being very consistent here in their message, if you can see what's going on. And so what he's saying is, if you're in the working class, if you're working class or in the middle class, that's considered $400,000 and less, then he's pledging or he's promising not to raise taxes on you. And so basically, this tax plan would cut taxes. So he's actually planning to cut taxes for middle and low income Americans by 765 billion over 10 years. Now, I want you all to pay attention to this because, again, this is very, very important. And if you're in this, as a working class family, as a middle class, you need to understand the details. This is very vague. This is not specific in terms of how they're actually going to do it. So stay tuned for more details on how the Biden administration plans to cut taxes for working families and the middle class, because this only lays out a proposal. This is not something that's been implemented or put in action. This is only a proposal, right? If he's reelected. So very, very important. I want you all to be well informed so you can make the right decision. And then last but not least, I can't skip over this one because it's a part of reducing or cutting taxes on the middle class and working families. And this is basically increasing the child tax credit for an additional 66 million children. And so the American Rescue Plan's expansion of the child tax credit has already helped to cut child poverty nearly in half to a historic low, and also narrow the racial disparities in access to credit since 2021. So they're planning to basically lift around 3 million children additionally out of poverty and cut taxes by an average of $2,600 for 39 million low and middle income families. That includes 66 million children. All right, this includes 18 million in low income families who would be newly eligible for the full credit, and 2 million children living with a caregiver who is at least 60 years old. It would also provide breathing room for day-to-day expenses by allowing families to receive their tax credit through monthly payment. So this is a little bit more information. This is a little bit more specific when he starts to talk about cutting taxes by an average of $2,600 for 39 million low and middle income families. All right. That includes 66 million children. That's a little bit more specific. And also very important, right? This includes 18 million children. This is huge. 18 million children in low-income families who would be newly, because right now they're not. So they'd be newly eligible for the full credit. And so very, very important here that you understand that. And again, I know it's more details. This is a proposal in terms of, the criteria that's going to shape this proposal. And so I just wanted to put it out there, but it's very, very important information. I want you all to go and take a look at. And, I want to say that, at this time, I'm currently not endorsing any presidential candidate. I'm not endorsing the Biden administration. I'm not endorsing the Trump administration. I want to see what they're going to do to earn my vote. My vote is not for free. And so I want to make sure that whomever I'm voting for has my best interest. All right. And so I want you all to move by being informed with information and make sound decisions, because that's what I'm doing. And so at this time, I want to go ahead and open it up for any questions that you all may have. Any questions related to taxes, any questions, related to tax returns, tax credits, tax deductions. I want to give you all that opportunity at this time to go ahead and ask us any questions that you may have. And while you're queuing up for your questions, if you don't have a question, I know I'd really appreciate it if you'll do two things. The first one is, if you're tuning in, wherever you're tuning in from, whatever part of the world you may be in, if you'll just drop in the comment section, drop your state if you're in the U.S. And if you're outside the U.S., just drop the name of your country so I'll know where you're tuning in from. I really appreciate that. And then secondly, I'm going to be dropping a link in the comments for you all. I want you all to take a look at this. We're doing something very different for the month of July, right? So I want you all to take a look at the link we're going to be dropping, and it's going to be on all of our social platforms as well. TikTok, it's going to be on Instagram, it's going to be on Facebook. We're going to be giving away free. Again, I want to say that one more time. We're going to be giving away free one-on-one coaching sessions. And these are going to be general coaching sessions. They're not going to be limited to taxes. They're going to be on personal finances, your specific situation. They're going to be on taxes. They're going to be on investments. It's going to be on real estate. It's going to be living outside the United States, working outside the United States, whatever it may be. I want to give you all an opportunity to take advantage of a free 15-minute one-on-one session with yours truly, so that you can get the advice that you need in order to make the second half, the next 6 months of 2024, your best half of 2024. And so I want you all to understand that this is going to be for the month of July. So I want you all to take advantage of it as soon as possible. Get in contact with us, me and my team, on Facebook, on Instagram, here on YouTube as well, on TikTok. Send us a message. We're reading all of the messages, all of the comments, to make sure that you get locked in to have your free one-on-one session. And that session is totally up to you. Whatever you decide you want it to be, it's going to be a 15-minute session, and you can talk about whatever it is that you need help and support with. I want to offer you that support. All right. And so I see that we have Arkansas in the building. Good morning to everybody in Arkansas. I appreciate you all tuning in with us. Definitely looking forward to the great folks of Arkansas actually participating in this free session. I know I'm used to seeing you all every week here on Tax Talk Live. So make sure you take advantage of the free one-on-one coaching session so that you're able to get your personal or business situation set on the right track, set on the right path to close out 2024. All right. Even if you're thinking about starting that business or starting that side hustle, let's make sure we talk about that in our 15-minute session. All right. I'm just looking for any questions that you all may have. We have about 30 more seconds. If you have any questions, if you have any comments, I want you all to go ahead and drop those if you have those at this time. If you don't have those, any questions or comments, that's absolutely okay. Again, I want you all to take time to look into the one-on-one session. And so I'm going to put the link in the description right now so that each and every one of you all can have that and you'll be able to take advantage. So only thing you'll have to provide your name, your email address, and just give us a brief description of what you want to discuss in your session. And once you hit that submit button on this link, then that information is going to come to our team and we're going to make sure that we reach out to you. So I've just provided the link. So you all should see the link there uh, um, down in the comment section. And so take advantage of that link to make sure that you're able to get the help that you so badly need. All right. If there's no questions, I appreciate your time. Thank you all. Looking forward to see you all back here next Saturday, 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time on Tax Talk Live. So until the next one, you all be blessed and have a great Saturday.